Hello and welcome. Let's just pretend it lights up since this is now broken, unfortunately. It's so sad because I wanted to have a cooler intro and light up Lou with his red. We are joined once again by Kylo Ren and moi. And a broken lightsaber, apparently. I'm really sad about this. This is not part of it, but I've had this for 20 years. This lily has a copyright date of 2004, and it died. And I'm really sad because I love this thing. Anyways, we're not having a lightsaber battle today. We are cooking instead. Yes, I have brought Kylo with me to cook some recipes from the galaxy. Now you may be thinking, oh, we're gonna make some Ronto Wraps or we're gonna make some blue milk, but no, you'd be wrong. Instead, I have this cookbook, which is the Star Wars Cookbook, Wookie Cookies, and other Galactic Recipes.
Yes, that's right, Galaxy's Edge and Star Cruiser Cuisine. We've got a whole book of different recipes right here.
Real story about this is this book I used to take out from the library years ago when I was a child, and I always remembered it fondly, even though I don't remember how much I actually made from this cookbook. And it's so interesting because this has a copyright date from 1998. So this is more focused on all the original Star Wars films, so just A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, The Emperor Strikes Back. This was before we got our prequels. So all these recipes in here are nothing to do with blue milk or Ronto Wraps or any other delicacies that Disney has come up with in the last couple of years.
Inside the book, they featured a very detailed introduction that goes over various tips and tricks for young Jedis to learn from. There's information on your basic cooking skills, how to get started, and what to be aware of when it comes to kitchen safety.
Now, because there are so many recipes in this book, I just picked out 5. So we have one from each of the following categories.
Breakfast starts out with 5 different recipes that you can make, some ranging to super easy to a little bit more advanced. Beverages had 4 different recipes, and as you can see, there's no option for either green or blue milk to make, but instead we've got stuff like Hoff chocolate and Skywalker smoothies. Snacks and sides had 6 different recipes, including but not limited to dark side salsa, Tuscan Raider taters, and Jedi juice pops. Main courses had 7 different recipes. Unfortunately, chicken tip yip is not a part of these offerings to make, but never fear, there's still desserts to devour with 7 different recipes as well, including our title food, the famous Wookie Cookies.
Kylo, where do you think we should start?
If you break bread together.
Yes, the beginning. The beginning is a very good place to start, even in a galaxy far, far away. The first recipe we're gonna take care of is from Mos Eisley Morsels.
Mos Eisley's Morsels is a delicious breakfast treat.
I need to preheat the oven. Let's cook. I've never had these before, have you?
No.
Okay.
And hungry, yeah.
So we need to get some flour, some baking powder, some baking soda, ground cinnamon, ground nutmeg, ground cloves, some salt, bananas, an egg, and some vegetable oil and vanilla to make this recipe. Did not realize it until now that I'm missing baking powder that we need, so thanks to the internet, looked up what I could substitute for baking powder, and one of the suggestions was adding lemon juice with baking soda. So we're gonna see how this works. We're adding science into this. Okay, let's see how this goes.
Let that blend for a few minutes.
So here we go, it's in the pan. Now, the one thing they said that to put it in a 8-inch dish. This I think is 9 inches, so it does make sense that it's not fully touching the edges, but it said to move it with a rubber spatula to flatten the top out. I really don't know what I'm making, so I'm just hoping that, you know, it works. But I will say, this does look like the sandy deserts of the land so far. The barren, sandy places. Okay, Kylo, are you excited to try this when it's done?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is probably the best we're gonna get it. There you go, let's put it in the oven. Okay. So, while that's baking, this is perfect because I figured put that in first, let that bake. We can go on to the next couple of recipes and keep going while we wait. Next up is Yoda soda. Kylo, have you ever met Yoda? No, he died before you were alive, wasn't he? Yeah. Okay, never mind then.
Yoda soda make we will.
Thank you, Kylo, for grabbing those. So we have our limes and we got our sorbet. And yes, we did not have lime sorbet when I went and got this, but I figured lemon was okay. And in the book, it does say you can use either rainbow sherbet or lemon. So this is great because we got a lemon lime soda going on. And then the final ingredient besides sugar is lime seltzer. I do not like seltzer. So this should be very interesting, but I'm hoping that it'll mix well with the sorbet and the sugar and it'll be something delicious. Lime juice is acquired. This is from squeezing 3 limes. It wasn't that much, but they were also small limes. Honestly, the bad thing about this is I squeeze this, I'm like, I want a margarita now. Do they have margaritas in Star Wars? Could I make a margarita drink? Let me pour it in. Doesn't smell too bad. We're gonna do 1 cup of this.
During the weekends, I take some trips up to Tuscany and would eat there as much as I could. It was pretty incredible.
Okay. Is it gonna taste like Sprite? I hope so. We got our sugar added to our lime to make it sweet. Okay, science here, ready? Ooh, perfect. Don't know how it's gonna taste, but perfection. Wow, it's really bubbly. Look at all those bubbles. Insane. First recipe to actually try, since the morsels are still baking, Yoda soda. Huh.
Oh, great.
What do you think?
Yeah, very good.
Real talk, this is actually quite refreshing. It is very similar to Sprite. I mean, it's lemon lime soda, but because it is strictly lime juice and sorbet and sparkling water seltzer, it's like a good summer drink. So, Disney parks, why aren't you selling Yoda soda instead of blue milk and green milk that doesn't taste anything and it's so chemically processed? Like, this is like a kind of like a nice glass of limeade lemonade situation. It's not, but it kind of is at the same time. I'm glad we have a successful recipe starting out. On to the next.
Instead of milkshakes, Jabba Jingle will bring all the droids to the yard.
That's right, we're making Jello. Jabba Jingle. This is Jabba Jingle, okay? So we got some pineapple chunks, we got some mandarin oranges, and lime Jello. Once again, serious moment here. I can never use a can opener properly. I was able to poke a hole in this can, but I gotta get the oranges out of it. Progress. It's so sad, Kylo. Kylo, this is when I need your lightsaber to be able to cut the rest of this open. Okay? At least with the pineapples, I can just open it. Why can't they make hands like this with that? At the same time, we got a tea kettle filled with water. Instructions are to boil this. Hey Kylo, it matches your colors. It's awesome. And then once it's boiled, then we're gonna add the Jell-O in. In the meantime, our morsels are done. However, that does not look anything like the picture at all. Even without the top banana. Okay, Kylo. I still have no idea how this is gonna taste. But the good thing is, it came out of the dish really easily, and I was able to cut it all up. They look more like biscuits to me. They have like a biscuit texture, but once again, I also did not have baking powder. So, I don't know what they're gonna taste like, but let's find out. It is very biscuity. Here you go, Kylo.
Solid as a rock, but it tastes a whole lot better than one.
They're not my favorite. They're not terrible. Like, there's not too much of flavor with it. It's more like a biscuit. And I know with the book, the recipe does say to add a mashed banana on top of it, but don't do it if you're not eating it right away. I'm glad that there's not that many of them, because it'll be like maybe a good snack to eat, but not something I'll be like, ooh, I want this again. Like the Yoda soda, I would drink all the time, but that one and done. But it's okay, we still have some Jell-O to make and our Wookie Cookies. It is Jell-O time, but not really. We get the knockoff stuff here. Ooh. We have to have 2 cups of boiling water, which we'll pour into here. You can see the steam of that for sure. All right, so 2 cups boiling water. We got that, so we'll pour that in. Oops. 2 cups cold water. Whoosh.
Then it's time to add in the fruit. We've got the pineapple and mandarin oranges.
Finally, we have 1 cup of grapes that we're adding in. Oh, look at that. It's so weird. Give this a nice stir. It's very, very colorful. Okay. Well, this is one way to make a fruit salad. We're gonna refrigerate this for 2 hours and then we'll come back. In the meantime, while the Jell-O is doing its thing and firming up, we still have 2 more recipes to do. The Wookie Cookies, but also the Boba Fettuccine. So Kylo, you ready for dinner? I think it's about time we make some real food.
Buon appetito with some boba fettuccine.
Before we jump into the fettuccine, I do want to jump into how interesting the main courses were with this book, because we have recipes like burritos, Han burgers, these are Han Solo burgers, I guess, Obi-Wan kebabs, which would have been really interesting to make too, but they make 8 kebabs and I didn't know how to make less, and also you have to use a grill for it, so not today. And then of course Galaxy grilled cheese, and what we're making, the Boba Fettuccine. And then besides that, there's also crazy Cantina chili. I don't like chili, so that automatically would not be something to try. And then little Thai fighter Thais. So we have little hot dogs, pigs in a blanket. But it's really cute ideas, especially for weekday night dinners for kids. But let's make some fettuccine. This is the healthiest-ish recipe we're making because we have broccoli, we have cauliflower and zucchini to cut up and add to our pasta.
Next step is to boil the vegetables together, broccoli, cauliflower, and zucchini, for about 4 minutes.
Now that our vegetables are cooked a little bit and drained, the next step it says is to add them to a saucepan with some pasta sauce. Now this is fettuccine alfredo, of course, so you're using alfredo sauce. And personal opinion, it's been so hard for me to find a store-bought alfredo sauce that tastes delicious. It's always better to go homemade, but we're following the recipe. So I grabbed some alfredo sauce that I hope tastes amazing. It's trial and error at this point. I have my water boiling for my pasta, and we put the vegetables in the pan. I guess we're basically gonna let them simmer for the 15 minutes it takes for the pan to boil, and then this is add the pasta sauce to it as well. So here goes nothing. That is 1 jar of pasta sauce. We're gonna add it to low. So we're gonna let this simmer while we're cooking our pasta. Pasta's now in. We're still stirring this. Honestly, even though the recipe doesn't call for it, I really wanna add some like salt and pepper into this mixture. Give it some flavoring. Make it tastier. You gotta add some spices to it, even if it's just salt and pepper. It's so basic.
20 minutes later.
Pasta's done. Let me plate everything up. You got pasta. Okay. Here we go. And the last thing we have to add is some Parmesan cheese.
And you can never have enough Parmesan cheese.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's way better.
This is a pretty good recipe. I mean, thankfully the fettuccine that I got is actually good. Let me see if I have some of the cauliflower. I'm not really a cauliflower person, but soaked in Alfredo. Let's pretty good. I love broccoli though. I love broccoli so much, so I'm excited for this. That's so good. Okay, this is like a wonderful dinner. It's great because it's really tasty, but because you have zucchini, broccoli, and cauliflower, those are 3 vegetables, so that's really great for kids that may not eat their vegetables. So this one I recommend highly. It wasn't difficult to make at all, and it's fresh. So like, you know, who needs a Ronto Wrap when you could have Boba Fettuccine? I know. I still haven't gone to have a Ronto Wrap yet. I want to. They look really good, but I kind of think these alternatives are hilarious before they were even a thing in the parks. So I'm gonna go enjoy my Boba Fettuccine with Kylo. We're gonna have like a nice little dinner date. I always think about the fact that in the future, if Adam Driver ever stumbled upon these videos, God. I really adore Adam Driver as a person. I just want to say that. I'm a normal person. I think about that a lot, of what he would think, knowing that I have a cardboard cutout of Kylo Ren in my house that I've done many videos with. Moment of silence. Hopefully I'm a normal person. I'm gonna go enjoy my Boba Fettuccine now with my Yoda soda and not watch Kylo Ren stuff, because we're gonna have a nice meal together.
2 hours later.
So we're back after our wonderful dinner. Kylo, did you enjoy your dinner?
Yeah.
But you know what time it is now? Grand finale, the Wookie Cookies.
Yes, the main title of the book. Did Chewbacca come up with this recipe?
With these, I'm gonna have to make another adjustment again because I did not realize the recipe calls for, makes about 3 dozen cookies, okay? But it calls for 1 cup of unsalted butter at room temperature. I don't have enough butter. I only have 1 stick of butter, which equals a half of cup. But that's okay because instead of a 3 dozen, which is 36, we're gonna make 18 cookies and it'll be a smaller batch, but it'll be good enough. Mostly everything is like a teaspoon or like 2 1/4 cups of flour, 2 eggs. So we're just gonna split everything in half. So we'll do 1 egg, half a teaspoon of the baking soda, salt, etc., cinnamon, and we'll see what happens. We have our butter stick, which equals a half a cup. And that's been at room temperature for hours now. Adding in the regular sugar. We're gonna mix the butter, brown sugar, and regular sugar in a mixing bowl. With this recipe, it says to mix that first and mix the flour mixture into this. And then 1 teaspoon of baking soda, so we have a half of teaspoon. And then 1 teaspoon of salt, so half a teaspoon of salt, cinnamon, etc. I'm just gonna add everything in here because it says to mix this mixture into this. Little by little. It also says to add in a cup of milk chocolate chips and semi-sweet chocolate chips, but we're just gonna eyeball it because you can never have enough chocolate chips, honestly. I can't find my good cookie sheet, so I just sprayed this one down and hopefully it'll still work. Let's pop them in the oven. 10 minutes. I also wanted to check on the Jell-O while we wait. It's been over 2 hours, but as you can see, it is not near done. So instead, we're gonna let this sit overnight. But that is completely okay because in a way, we have our dessert tonight with our Wookie Cookies. And then tomorrow, which of course will only be seconds for you, but for me and for Kylo, tomorrow we'll have the Jell-O.
A few moments later.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, cookies. That actually turned out pretty simple. I still have some batter left, so I'll make the rest of it. But I'm gonna let those cookies cool down and then Kylo and me will have a taste test. I am very impressed. These came out really perfect. Like, look at the bottom. Perfect. I'm excited. All right, let me have a bite.
Okay, it's flavored milk chocolate made with 100% cocoa butter. Delish, but I am biased.
I think we both agree that these cookies are perfection. These are amazing, perfect chocolate chip cookies. I mean, I know that chocolate chip cookies are so easy to make, but still, very happy with this. So maybe we should get a glass of blue milk to dip these in for the night. But it's not over yet because stay tuned tomorrow as we finish the Jell-O. And then we have 5 recipes that we've made that aren't in Star Wars Land Galaxy's Edge, that they're old school Star Wars recipes that we've tried.
The next day.
And we are back. It has been a full day, so let's go grab the Jell-O and try everything out. Okay, Jell-O time. Let's see how this is. I honestly don't know how I'm gonna eat this, but let's just like cut into this. And I guess we'll get some fruit around it too. Wow. This is a mess. It's very, very sweet. But I feel like this would be a nice, refreshing dessert. Especially with whipped cream. That's what we need. This definitely is a much better Jell-O mold than others might. It actually, like I said, it is really refreshing and it'd be great for the summertime. But that is all the recipes now. We've made it to the end. Kylo, did you enjoy this experience?
I did, yeah.
Like I said, if for whatever reason Adam Driver ever sees this video or any of these videos that I do, Adam, I promise I am an old person. Thank you for hopefully enjoying the joke, and I hope to actually be able to meet you and show that I am normal. And maybe you could come on and legitimately make food so I have a real person and a real personality instead of just a cardboard cutout. But I mean, I still appreciate this, especially because, you know, Adam Driver in real life is a lot taller than this. This is a lot smaller than his actual height because he's like 6'2" or 3, I think. And I am a foot smaller. That is a wrap for our Star Wars recipes. It was an interesting experience. I liked doing it. It was nice to be able to do recipes that were a lot more unique compared to, like, you know, the blue milk, the Ronto Wraps, anything you find in the parks today. If you knew about this book, I'd love to know if these have any memories for you, or if you'd be interested in trying the recipes. Hopefully they're easy to follow from what I showed. And if you'd like to see more, let me know. Maybe we'll even do more recipes with a different character. Like, I'll bring out a Princess Leia cardboard cutout, who knows. But until then, as always, I hope you have a magical day, and I'll see you real soon.